Hey guys, what's going on? This is John from Friends of Your Benefits. October 15th is National HSA Day, and to celebrate, today we're going to go over 5 fun facts about your HSA that you probably didn't know, including how your adult children can contribute up to $8,300 a year into their own HSA tax-free. But first, let's go over what an HSA is. An HSA is a tax-advantaged savings account that's used to cover medical expenses that your high deductible health plan doesn't cover. Now, if you want additional detail on how HSAs work and what the requirement for high deductible health plans are, click the link on the video in front of you. For fun fact number 1, did you know that an Uber ride to and from a medical appointment is considered an HSA qualified expense? Here's a quick example. Let's say you have an outpatient surgery scheduled and you decide to open the Uber app and obtain an Uber ride to get to your appointment. That Uber ride is considered HSA eligible because you're going from one medical appointment to your house. You'll definitely want to make sure to take care of all proper documentation, including perhaps an EOB from your health insurance company and a receipt of the Uber ride in the event you need it for an IRS audit. You can also use your HSA to pay for fuel costs if you happen to use your own car to help transport you to your doctor's visits. And of course, if God forbid you happen to require an ambulance ride, that ambulance ride is 100% HSA eligible for reimbursement. For fact number 2, you can definitely use your HSA to pay for medical expenses while traveling internationally. Always make sure to carry proper documentation in the event that you need it. Number 3, HSAs can be used to pay for COBRA premiums if you happen to be on COBRA and are looking for ways to perhaps fund it. For number 4, HSAs can be a real important part of estate planning. Always important to complete your beneficiary designation, and depending on who you put down, the tax implications could be very different. For the easiest example, let's say you're married and you put your spouse down under the beneficiary designation. The spouse can definitely use your HSA 100% tax-free to pay for their own medical expenses. However, if you put someone else down, including your children, as the beneficiary on your HSA, those HSA funds could be considered taxable income under the estate planning, and this is something you may decide to hire a financial planner for to go over what makes sense for you and your family and your long-term wishes. Now, if you like what you're hearing, make sure to like the video and subscribe, and we'll be sure to make more content like this in the future. And finally, for number 5, we're going to go over how your adult children can contribute up to $8,300 a year in their own HSA. So there's a few rules and requirements in order for this to happen. So number 1, your adult children cannot be considered your legal tax dependents. If that's the case, they are definitely not eligible for this. Number 2, they need to be covered under your high deductible health plan. Number 3, they can't be eligible for Medicare, which is going to be the vast majority of children out there. Assuming those 3 conditions are met and they're not covered under a separate FSA, they are eligible to take up to $8,300 a year and put it into an HSA tax-free. And especially if they start when they're very young, this can really go a long way in helping them save for future medical expenses and perhaps their retirement. Now we want to hear from you guys. What questions do you have on your HSAs? Comment below.